This is a tale of long ago. A tale from a land where everyone believed in magic spells. Where people believed that if you wished and worked long and hard for something, your wish would come true. The king who ruled over this beautiful land was King Bartholomew. King Bartholomew had 3 daughters, Princess Agatha, Princess Martha, and the youngest and by far the most fair, Princess Leonora.
Bye. I'll return before dark.
On this particular day, as on many others just like it, Leonora rushed out of the castle and through the courtyard without stopping to greet the townspeople who were going about their day's business. The townspeople were so used to seeing Leonora scurrying along towards the castle gates that not an eyebrow was raised towards her manner that might otherwise be considered unladylike.
The princess.
The guards at the gate were always quite protective of the carefree princess.
Ma'am, will you be gone long, and where are you going?
I'm going into the forest.
I suppose you'll be paying a visit to that little pond again.
Yes, and don't worry, I'll be sure to return before dark as usual.
Please do, Princess. You know how angry His Majesty will get if you return late and the gates are
I
locked.
won't be late.
But the poor guards were never sure that the high-spirited princess wouldn't stay out after sunset one of these days. Because Leonora was in love with the fields and fresh air of the forest, she was drawn as if by magic to the little pond in the middle of that forest. The princess always carried with her a single cherished object, a little ball made of gold. Little did she know that on this day, and partly because of that ball, the pond would be the start of an unusual adventure, for her pond was now inhabited.
It's that princess we saw yesterday.
It was there that lived a servant named Henry, as well as a very unusual prince.
Hello, excuse me, Your Highness, are you there? It's me, Henry, Your Majesty. Would you please come up for some air? It's very important.
Swimming is so difficult. What is it, Henry?
Remember yesterday, you and I saw a princess leave here just as we arrived? Well, guess what? She's coming back again.
Does she appear to be alone, or did she bring a servant?
She comes alone, Your Highness. She's by herself. The opportunity we've been waiting for has finally come. You must try to call out to her.
Well, perhaps. I think.
Perhaps, you say? You must try to make friends with her, sir. That's the only way you'll break this magic spell. If you don't, you will stay a frog forever.
But she is far too beautiful.
But she is what we need to break the spell. In my very humble opinion, this is no time for hesitation.
Well, I don't want your opinion. Pardon my anger, Henry, but I am the one under the spell. Henry, I'm nothing but a warty frog right now, so I would scare the girl and she'd run away. I'm too ugly. It would break my heart if she treated me like an ugly animal.
Your Highness, I'm afraid being faint of heart is absolutely out of the question. You have only to remember that you're still a prince. Before that witch cast her spell, why, sir, you were the bravest man to be found anywhere.
Don't get excited. You're choking me. It's painful.
Sir, you simply must recover that bravery. You must be bold like you used to be. Now hop over and introduce yourself to that beautiful princess.
I know, but even if we could manage to become friends, would she bring me back to the castle with her?
Why not? Intend it to happen and it will. Remember, you must get the princess to kiss you in order to break the spell. Have courage. Talk to her.
All right. Excuse me.
Just then the princess approached. Henry clambered up the tree and the frog prince jumped back into the pond. Having just climbed the rather steep hill, and it being such a fair and warm day, Leonora decided to refresh herself by stopping for a drink of water. As luck would have it, she went straight to where Henry and the frog prince were hiding. The frog prince waited, for he was very shy. She is very beautiful and would satisfy the evil witch's requirement, he thought. But would he be able to get her to kiss him and thereby take away the evil spell?
There's none better than this water. It is so good to sit by my beautiful pond and smell my very own flowers. And to see the deer and the birds.
Yes, Leonora was quite at peace in the forest. But her peace was soon to be disturbed.
Now, what shall I call out to her? Excuse me, I was just passing through and... No, that just won't do.
You are my most treasured possession in the whole kingdom. My golden ball is more precious to me than anything.
It looks like all that she is thinking about is that golden ball. I'd better take a little time to practice being charming. Henry, how's this? Hello?
Oh, I like that one, sir. No, I'm afraid not, sir. Sir,
Huh?
Oh, my
I think that you've practiced enough. The time has come to make your approach before the princess leaves for the castle.
The right approach is very important. The princess will laugh at me if my manners are improper.
I completely agree with you, sir, but listen to me. She's not going to remain here and play with that little ball forever. Look, she's already moving away.
Our princess seems to be quite involved with that toy of hers. Do you think that we still have time, Henry?
But why waste time when you can act right now, Your Highness? After all, we don't want to get careless when a golden opportunity like this is placed before us.
Henry, you forget that timing is of the utmost importance, and I must work myself into the right frame of mind.
Well, if you lose her, don't come crying over spilt milk to me, because I tried everything I could think of to help you get over this spell.
Will you please be quiet, Henry? If you do not stop this aimless chattering, I will not be able to concentrate.
Well, I was just trying to help.
Well, I don't need it. Ah!
Oh, my ball! Oh, come back! Oh, no, stop!
Uh-oh.
Oh, my, look what's happened to my precious golden ball! I'll never be able to reach it. The water's too deep. It must have hit bottom. I can't see it.
Down he plunged through the murky waters. Luckily, he was so stunned by the ball's impact that he finally let go of it and began floating to the top.
Oh, my heavens! I've lost my ball! This pond is much too deep for anyone to find it. I've lost my ball forever!
The Frog Prince finally reached the pond surface.
What's that? Hey, my ball, it is floating. It's a miracle. My precious golden ball is floating back up to the surface of the pond. Come on now. Please bring my ball back up to me. It's almost in reach. There. A frog! No!
Oh.
Oh my, I can't believe it! My beautiful pond and that dead frog I touched with my very own hands!
Did I hear you say dead, frog? I'm very much alive, I think.
He's speaking! Oh no, I'm dreaming! He's dreadful! Oh.
Excuse me, you are the one who's dreadful for hitting me with that ball of yours. You should apologize immediately.
Dear me.
What's that?
There is no what's that about it. First you hit me with your ball, I almost drowned. Then you have the nerve to call me dreadful. You assault with your words, fair lady, after grabbing me and throwing me.
I beg to differ. I believe you were just pretending to be dead to trick me. You probably wanted to appear as my golden ball, so you came floating to the surface, belly up. You tricked me into grabbing you.
That's absurd.
You did it to scare me.
Princess, pardon me for saying this, but could you stop your blabbering and listen to me? You've got it all wrong. Your little ball rolled down the incline and hit me. It knocked me into the pond, and it did me great harm. I came up to the surface of the pond like that because I was knocked unconscious. That ball is heavy, you know. So I think that rather than saying how dreadful I am, you should apologize immediately. Go ahead.
I should apologize.
Yes, immediately.
But how come?
If not sooner. to me.
Why should I, a beautiful princess, have to apologize to a warty frog? It's absurd. I won't do it.
But I'm not really a frog. I'm not.
Don't raise your voice to me like that. I'll tell my father about this.
Why, you spoiled little brat. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead home and tell your father about me. Go on.
Well, maybe I'll just do that and have the guards come and arrest you as well, you loudmouth. Talking frog must belong to some witch.
If only the princess knew how close she'd come to the truth with that remark. In any event, our poor frog prince's hopes of making friends with, being brought back to the castle by, and being kissed by the lovely Leonora went up in smoke with that first dismal meeting. The prince couldn't understand how one so fair could have such horrid manners. He still wasn't quite used to being treated like a frog.
Sir?
Ah, Henry, it's all over now. Well, it looks like we really picked the wrong princess, Henry. Ah, well, I might as well find a nice lady frog, get married, and settle down here at the pond, raise tadpoles, because I'm not going to find anyone who's going to break this spell for me, it looks like.
Don't give up, sir.
Please, Henry.
Shh. The princess has returned. She's standing right over there behind you.
Hmm?
Perhaps you two didn't hit it off as badly as you think you did. It's obvious she'd like to talk to you. I mean, do you see how she's looking around?
That young girl said the most dreadful things to me not 2 minutes ago.
You'll pardon me for saying so, sir, but your manner was not at its princely best either.
That girl threw me in the pond, Henry, after almost killing me with that little ball of hers.
Never mind that, sir. She's coming. Just make sure you don't start any ill-mannered quarreling with her. You've got to remember, you're a charming nobleman.
Yeah, in a frog's body.
He was none too pleased, but since his life depended upon it, the frog prince went off for another try at friendship with the princess. What he and Henry didn't realize was that Leonora had returned to the pond not to look for the frog, but to somehow find a way to recover her precious ball of gold.
I must find it. Really, I've never seen such nerve in my entire life, you horrible creature!
Ha! You're the one who's awful, and you've got a lot of nerve for snooping around a frog's home that way.
This pond is mine, you warty frog. It belongs to my father's kingdom.
There you have it. I'm a warty frog, and I belong in a pond, naturally. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit.
All right, in the name of my father the king, I give you my permission to make your home here.
How gracious of you, fair lady. Your kindness is...
Stop, wait. For my gracious kindness, you must do something in return for me.
What?
You have to retrieve my golden ball, which is now sitting on the bottom of the pond.
What's that? You expect me to go down there and get your... All right.
The ball is made of the purest gold and is the most precious thing to me in the whole wide world. If you don't get it back for me at once, I'll spread a rumor throughout the whole kingdom that you're a thieving scoundrel.
Don't do that. You're quite cunning, aren't you, fair princess?
All I want is my ball back.
Well, all right. To keep your grace from calling me a thief, I'll get it for you.
Get it right now because I have to be home for a banquet.
You want me to go right now, do you?
Of course, no better time than now.
Pond's awfully deep, you know. Oh, dear, yes, and that little ball of yours is rather heavy, you know.
Now listen, besides letting you live here, I'll grant you one more favor, Frog. Just go and bring my ball up to me.
Oh, you will, huh? Well, what sort of favor?
You can have my necklace. In fact, take the earrings too, they're a set.
I really don't need jewelry, Princess.
Don't you like it?
No, the favor I'd like is your friendship.
What do you mean?
Simply your friendship. Were you and I to become good friends, that would really be quite enough.
And that's all that you would want to get my ball?
Mm-hmm.
I have your solemn promise that if I become your friend, you'll go and get my golden ball?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Why not? I'll become friends with you.
Now, you wouldn't lie to me, would you, Princess?
I swear on my father's kingdom.
I truly believe you then. Well, I'll dive down and get that ball back now. And I won't say nasty things to you. Oh, yes. I'm very sorry about that. I was really irritated with you. Sorry.
I treated you pretty badly, didn't I? Throwing you like I did and all. It was rude of me to call you a warty old frog and loudmouth as well. I, too, am sorry.
I accept your apology, Princess. And I'll go and get your ball. Excuse me, Princess?
Huh?
I forgot to ask if you'd grant me one more little favor.
What is it?
Would you invite me to your castle tonight?
Of course. Seeing as we are now friends, most certainly.
You won't treat me like a common frog, will you?
Oh, no. You'll sit at the banquet table and be treated like royalty.
And at the banquet table, may I be allowed to sit next to you?
Why, yes, most certainly. Now you should hurry because we don't want to be late in arriving at the castle. Father gets angry when I return after dark.
Of course, I'm on my way. Just one more favor.
Huh?
I'm truly delighted that you've invited me to the castle. And I'm sure I will be staying very late. I'll have difficulty finding my way home.
You shall stay the night then, for we have plenty of rooms for overnight visitors.
I would prefer to sleep in your room, actually. I really would sleep so much better.
Oh, all right then.
May I sleep at the bottom of your bed? We could chat a while before going to sleep.
Oh, why not? That way we would get to know each other a little better.
I'm so looking forward to that.
I am too. Now you'd better hurry, for we have a long walk back to the castle, and if we get there too late, the gates will be locked and we'll miss the banquet.
Right away, my dear.
Oh, finally.
Down went the Frog Prince to the bottom of the pond, joyful that he had achieved his goal. For once he was in Princess Leonora's chambers, he could talk her into kissing him and breaking the witch's evil spell. He found the ball, easily of course, for he knew exactly where it was. It was made of pure gold and was very heavy, but retrieving it would be worth the effort. The prince's motto had always been, anything not accomplished on the first try was not worth trying to begin with. But in this case, he wisely made an exception to the rule. Up swam the Frog Prince. Since he hadn't been used to being a frog all that long, swimming while carrying the heavy ball was quite a strain. But he was in luck. He reached some underwater reeds and began pulling himself upward. The Frog Prince had almost gotten to the top when all of a sudden the ball had slipped from his tired legs, and he decided he had better use his head instead.
Come on, Frog, hurry. Oh, dear.
The trumpets had sounded their familiar call. The princess knew that when the sun was fully set in the west, the castle gates would be locked. The princess so wished he would hurry.
Ah, there he is. I see him. He will get to the surface in no time.
The Frog Prince climbed up the reeds slowly but surely. He knew it was close to sunset, but he also knew that the castle was a short distance away, just down the hill. The princess had only told him it was a long walk to get him to hurry.
Your ball.
Oh, thank goodness. I will never lose you again, my precious ball. I will always be careful when I play with you. I thank you for your brave effort, Mr. Frog.
Thanks. It was nothing. I'm exhausted. That task was more difficult than I thought. Princess, might I ask you to carry me to the castle? Huh? She's leaving? Wait, don't go! Wait! Princess, I'm much too tired to make it all the way to the castle. Please come back and carry me. I don't believe it. She had to have heard that. She had to have heard me calling her.
Yes, the princess had heard the Frog Prince's call for help, but she paid no attention to it, for she had been lying all along. She just wanted her ball back, and the thought of making friends with a warty old frog and bringing him back to the castle banquet was absurd to her. That evening, while Henry slept peacefully under a tree, the Frog Prince, having rested and regained his strength, made his way with new vigor toward the castle. After all, he had kept his promise and retrieved the princess' golden ball. Now she had to keep her promise. Besides, he was hungry after all that swimming and longed to dine at the banquet table with the royal family. He had to get into the castle, find the princess, and somehow get her to break the spell and turn him back into a prince. While all of the royal servants and cooks busily prepared for the king's banquet, The Frog Prince hurried purposefully toward the castle.
I'm nearly there.
If he was ever to become a real prince once again, he knew he must find the young princess. For even though she had tricked him, she was the only one who could break the evil spell. But the Frog Prince was soon to find he was not a welcome guest.
Who goes there? I seldom see creatures like you inside the castle. Why are you here?
I have come through the dark forest in response to a personal invitation of the royal princess. Am I headed in the right direction, kind sir?
First of all, it's highly unlikely that you would be invited to the castle. I happen to know that each of the 3 princesses who lives here detests frogs. And I don't happen to like liars. Now, what are you doing here?
Please believe me, sir. My word is truly my bond. I do not lie. But what have I done wrong? I don't understand.
You don't belong here.
This is a misunderstanding. If you'll put me down, I'll tell you the whole story. It's most unusual for me to be treated in such a rude and brutal manner. Have you no shame? It's obvious you never trusted anyone.
You have another thing coming if you think you can hide from me. Now hold still. I can't catch you if you don't hold still. Let go! Let go! Unhand me this instant!
Is that food I smell? I know I'll find Princess Leonora at the banquet.
Yes?
Excuse me, Your Majesty. The evening meal awaits.
Thank you.
And a wonderfully elaborate meal it was. The honored guests were offered the finest provisions to be found in all the royal kingdom. No wine was too costly, no recipe too complicated, no detail was too small. This evening's banquet in the castle was truly fit for a king. Being the youngest and most lovely of the 3 royal princesses, Leonora was always given a special degree of attention. Meanwhile, having left the sentry dog far behind, the Frog Prince continued his search through the castle. What would normally have been a leisurely stroll for a prince turned into a most tedious and difficult undertaking for a mere pond frog. But he was determined to discover Leonora's whereabouts. And after all, the princess herself had asked him to come.
Oh! I wonder what that sound could be. Let's see. A jumping frog makes noises like that. I hope it isn't the frog from the pond. No, of course not. That frog could not possibly have come all the way up here. It's you!
Oh, Princess, I knew if I tried hard enough I would find you. Please let me in. I'm so tired and hungry.
I simply do not believe this.
Daughter,
Oh,
there is obviously something terrible on the other side of the door that has frightened you. A horrible black bear, perhaps?
no, it is not a bear.
So tell me then, Princess, why the startled expression?
It is a frog.
A frog?
Yes, he's from a nearby pond. He wants to come in and share our meal with us. It is the truth.
Princess, please open the door. Surely you can recognize it's me and haven't forgotten your promise. Please let me in.
I see our sister is not beyond playing a little trick on all of us.
No, Agatha, I'm telling the truth.
Leonora, I believe you. Now tell us all just what is going on.
I met a frog at the pond today and invited him to come back to the castle with me and join us for supper.
Did you hear that, everyone? It sounds as if my daughter has found herself a new friend, and without even so much as asking the king's permission. And this friend has the voice of a boy. So Leonora has a boyfriend.
I do not! And I happen to think that frog is disgusting.
None of this makes any sense at all. So why don't you explain it to us?
Well, it was just around lunchtime earlier today, and I was walking by myself in the forest when by accident I dropped my precious golden ball into the midst of an extremely deep pond. Then the frog appeared, agreeing to fetch my ball if I would invite him here. So you can see what
Princess Leonora! I am the frog who lives in the pond. Don't you remember? I helped you today, so please honor your promise to me and open up this door.
As you can see, Father, I had no choice. But I did not seriously entertain the thought that the frog would come all the way up here. That is the reason I have made such a thoughtless promise to him.
So he shall enter.
No, surely you cannot be serious, Father. Please, no.
I will not leave your new friend to stand outside hungry and cold. You must honor your vow. He shall enter.
Yes, do let him in, sister. Father is curious as to the true identity of this mysterious friend of yours, and so are we.
And if a frog enters, your father will be most relieved.
Oh, thank you, Princess.
Look! She was telling the truth. It's not to be...
Greetings, Your Majesty. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the frog who lives in the forest pond, miles beyond the castle.
Greetings to you. So pleased to make your acquaintance. I'd like to welcome you to my home.
That is most kind indeed, Your Majesty. I thank you and am at your service.
Good sir, you were ever so kind to have assisted my young daughter in her hour of need. I will stay forever grateful. Thank you.
It was an honor, sir, and I truly consider myself fortunate just to have made the acquaintance of a princess so charming and lovely as your daughter.
I must offer an apology for keeping you waiting outside so long. Our young guest is staying for supper. Let us go ahead and set a plate. And be quick about it.
Again, I am most grateful, Your Majesty, for I am quite famished, and unless you have an objection, I request permission to be seated next to the princess.
Only royalty may sit at that table, but you didn't know that, did you?
Excuse me, Your Majesty. While I wish to sound neither bold nor disrespectful, that was the promise the princess had made today.
Well, there is nothing in this kingdom that is worth more than the word of royalty. Make ready the chair next to Princess Leonora.
Father, I would rather die first. There are any other number of seats in the banquet hall that I know you would like equally well.
Yes. But on the other hand, nothing would please me nearly as much as to gaze into your lovely eyes while I eat my meal. What do you say? Please?
Absolutely not.
But you promised me. Doesn't that mean anything?
Darling, that frog is starting to make a nuisance of himself. I want you to put an end to this nonsense immediately.
Absolutely not. Under the circumstances, the frog is within his rights.
What was that?
The royal honor happens to be at risk here. Simply put, in return for a favor, our youngest daughter made a commitment to that pond frog. I merely want her to uphold the promise that she made.
And so it was decided that the Frog Prince would be given his very own chair right next to the Princess Leonora.
All the food looks just as wonderful as it smells. I am quite hungry, and this is a marvelous feast.
There is no need for you to be shy, my boy. There is plenty more where that came from, so please take anything you would like.
You were too kind, Your Majesty. I think I would like to begin with the tasty soup that the princess is having.
In that case, why not take some from my daughter's bowl right in front of you?
By that, do you mean I should eat from the very same bowl as the princess?
Of course, unless that displeases you.
Certainly not. On the contrary, I would consider it a privilege to eat from the royal soup bowl.
That's the spirit, so go ahead. What are you waiting for? I won't be satisfied until your stomach is full, and I know my daughter feels the same way. Leonora, your friend has been most patient.
Yes, by all means, please be my guest.
Thank you, Princess. It certainly looks very good. Actually, I truly am most exceedingly hungry. It's spicy, just like I like it. Excellent. Princess, would you be interested in knowing that I ran all the way to the castle? Well, to be exact, I jumped all the way, and that's why I'm so terribly hungry. Princess, I hope nothing is wrong, but instead of eating, it seems that you're just sitting there staring at me.
I have already had enough. I could not eat another thing.
Oh, I get it now. You were telling a joke. And I must be blocking your way. If I move aside, you will be better able to taste it. Go ahead, Princess, grab a spoon. I do believe you will like it, and the cook should be heartily congratulated. Yum. Now, I can't quite make up my mind. What should we do next, Princess? Either we order another course, sounds tempting, or we have more soup. But I do not wish to be greedy. Whatever you decide is going to make me happy.
What has happened, my friend? Has my daughter offended you?
Not at all, sir. Nothing to be concerned about, Your Majesty. Sorry for the interruption. We just had a bit of an accident while discussing the beef stock.
My dear, I believe I have never seen our daughter look so miserable before. Surely by now she's learned her lesson.
A promise is a promise. The princess had selfishly made an agreement that she did not intend to honor. I cannot accept that.
Yum, yum. I do not want to make a pig of myself, but... Yum. Tasty. This is the best yet. Yes. Princess, you truly should taste this.
Come back here. You cannot go in there.
So there you are. Time to go.
I do hope you were not seriously hurt.
No, thank you.
I apologize for that dog's rude behavior and assure you it will not happen again.
Please think nothing of it, sir. He was merely protecting the castle. But now I am quite tired and would like a chance to rest.
Yes, the hour is late and the evening has been filled with excitement. Perhaps you would like to stay at the castle tonight?
That would be nice, thank you.
I do prefer sleeping in a warm bed rather than a damp pond.
Princess Leonora will be glad to see you to your comfort.
I am in your debt again. And might I also request that I rest my head in the prince's chambers?
That is a fine idea. The dog will not bother you in there. Princess Leonora, show the frog to your chambers.
Father, no! Why my room?
It is you who owes this frog a debt of gratitude, young lady. And just who invited him here to the castle in the first place?
Absolutely not, Father. I will not have it. You are asking too much of me.
Listen! Have you forgotten that this frog has done you a favor? It is absurd that you now find him distasteful. I did not raise you to become ungrateful and to use people in a selfish manner. You will do as I say now and show our guest to your room.
Princess, please stop crying. Have I done something wrong? You are starting to make me feel unwelcome.
I have never been so humiliated in all of my life. I'm sorry I met you. Go away.
To travel such a long way is unwise. Besides, you surely would not wish to further disappoint your father, now would you?
Why must you be ill-tempered and annoying? Not only are you offensive to look at, but your lack of manners and irritating personality are impossible.
I'm beginning to get the impression that you do not like me very much.
I did not like you from the beginning, and now that I know you, I really do completely detest you.
Oh, my.
I am sorry, but I had to say that.
So it is possible that you would rather die than be forced by your father to spend time with me?
Precisely.
Princess, is it safe to say that you find me so absolutely repulsive that you could not hate me anymore?
That's it exactly.
So all that remains is for you to grow to like me then.
But what are you saying?
Very simply, if you cannot hate me any more than you do right at this moment, then your only choice is to learn to like me.
Oh my, no! Oh, you are giving me a headache. Somebody help me.
Leonora, it seems to me that I am making a lot of sense here.
Only a few hours have passed since when we met, Leonora. I know very little about you, and likewise, you know even less about me.
I do not wish to know any more about you.
It is much too late to turn back now. Have you forgotten the promise we made today to help each other and be friends, Leonora? Yes, trust me, Princess, and I bet you will change your mind.
Leave me alone! I simply have nothing at all in common with a mere pond frog. You persist in making my life miserable!
Well, I will admit that I am an acquired taste. Kiss me.
Absolutely not!
What?
My first kiss will be with a prince!
No.
Oh, my! Oh, Mr. Frog? What have I done? Are you all right? He's not even moving. Could it be? I killed him! I got mad! Then I lost my temper and did the most terrible thing I've ever done. He only wanted to be my friend. I'm so sorry. Oh! No longer will I be able to gaze upon my own reflection in the mirror without sadness, and my father will surely banish me. I do not know you.
Yes, we know each other better than you think, because until recently, I was that frog who you thought you had just killed. And it is thanks to you I am able to be a human once again.
What? But I thought I had killed you. Whatever did I do to you, good sir?
You have broken a witch's spell without even knowing it. I shall be forever grateful to you, Leonora.
I am so shocked. I treated you so badly. I am completely surprised you would talk to me, and you should know that I do not always act like that, kind sir.
Yes, Princess, no one appreciates that more than I, because you see, it was the true goodness in your heart that has awakened me from the old witch's evil spell. All of my life I have dreamed of riding away with a lovely princess of lasting virtue. My search is over. I have found her this day. Princess, please come with me and be my bride.
And soon thereafter, the prince, who was a frog, asked for Princess Leonora's hand in marriage. King Bartholomew gladly gave them the royal blessing and bid them a tearful farewell. And the kiss? Well, you see, the princess' tear of sympathy was power enough to break the magic spell. The kiss came later, and they lived happily ever after.